Just think of a world where people are not greedy. Then the rich person will be thought neurotic. The politician will be thought neurotic. Then the people who are constantly hankering for attention will be thought retarded. And if people are not greedy, we will have a totally different world, more beautiful. There will be fewer possessions, certainly, but more joy, more music, more dance, more love. Excerpt from Fame, Fortune, and Ambition, What is the Real Meaning of Success by Osho. Narcissism in our culture has reached elephantine proportions. In fact, more than 250 people have died of selfie-related incidents between 2011 and 2017. And I'm sure this number has gone up even more so now that we're in 2020. Consider how the desire for likes, comments, and attention goes beyond your social count and how it seeps into your psyche and how you do things for validation and for these external things, these just ideas, this hot air, and how it makes you miserable and how you fall into the traps of bias and comparison and the grass is greener syndrome and the shiny ball syndrome. What worse way to live life than to basically make yourself miserable by trying to constantly get this drip, this drug that is always fleeting, that you can never really hold on to. What a more absurd notion for life. Yet that is what has become rampant. That is what society in 2020 is telling us we should aim for. This is the world we live in. Big tech, they make money by addicting you to their products and services. They want you to be paying attention to other people's lives. They want you to sit in front of your phone while ignoring the real life and the people right in front of your face. And I don't have a cure-all for this. I'm hoping just maybe some awareness brought to it can help you and help you think about it, help you put down your phone, help you follow or unfollow, I should say, a lot of the social media influencers that are perpetuating this narcissism. You don't need to be looking at pictures of half-naked girls all the time or dudes on steroids with their shirt off or whatever other completely and utterly useless and empty forms of content that you're following on social media. Social media could actually be a place where you can learn and educate yourself. You can follow science accounts, history accounts. You can watch the same on YouTube. You can seek out good quality educational content rather than the mindless, literally mind-numbing drivel that's put out on a daily basis by we're talking orders of magnitude, millions and millions and millions, potentially billions of pieces of content every day that literally makes you dumber, weaker, and more stupid. In fact, if you want to laugh, this is kind of dumb content, so it's kind of contrary to what I just said, but at least do this to see how dumb the behavior is, to maybe bring awareness to yourself, to make sure you're not doing this, okay? So if you go on YouTube and you search social media narcissists, you'll see some of the most absurd behavior I've ever seen in humans. And there was one example particularly of this girl holding a sign with this like flowing black dress in the middle of a Black Lives Matter protest, has somebody take a picture with people like walking around her before immediately like getting in her car to drive away. Another one was a girl holding this dude's drill, boarding up windows or trying to repair something, like posing before immediately giving the drill back to the actual dude that was doing the work and then hopping in her BMW and speeding away. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. As our culture becomes more depressed, more drugged, as suicides increase, especially in the younger generation that's growing up with this toxic mind viruses, and all these negative effects that we don't even understand yet. I mean, the iPhone is barely 10 years old. It's crazy. Obama was just elected to office, or it was like either before or soon after when the iPhone came out. It seems like the iPhone was invented like the early 90s or something, but it hasn't. It wasn't. We don't have long-term studies. We don't have good research. We can't. We haven't even had enough time, but we can look at a lot of the trends. Suicides are at all-time highs and growing every year, especially in the younger generation. What about lack of movement, sitting inside all day? Childhood obesity. 1 in 3 children are now obese. 50% plus of Americans are obese. Can you believe? I mean, think about that a second. Nearly half or more, it's probably more actually at this point, because the outdated data done in like the 2017, 2016, half of American adults are fat. Go back to 60s, I would even say probably 70s, and you're at single digit obesity. So basically maybe 1 in 10 person might be obese, maybe even less than that, maybe 1 in 20, maybe it was around 5%. Yet look at these trends. Fatter people, sicker people, more mentally unstable people, more suicides, more general unhappiness and discontentment, even though we live in the most abundant culture and society ever. And look at 2020 and all the political strife we have and the craziness. This is how revolution happens. This is how revolution of a government, revolution of way of thought, a way of life for people. This is how America is going to crumble. I mean, it already is. And I will save that for the next show. So for today, just be aware of how the corporate interests want to keep you addicted, plugged in, and basically sick because they profit off of that. And your addiction to being obsessed with other people's lives and what they're doing and trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to live some ideal that, people put on social media, basically fake most of the time. If you really knew what went on behind closed door, maybe you wouldn't think these people are so great. And be aware of what that's doing to your brain, and especially what it's doing to your children's brain. That's it for today. Like, subscribe. I'm Colin Stuckert, and I'll see you in the next one.